South Carolina, and I appreciate our delegation's endorsement and also the endorsement of our Committee on Native American Ministries. I wish that I could introduce my wife Cindy to you, but she is fulfilling her ministry call as an elementary guidance counselor back in South Carolina. We have 3 children. We've been married for 40 years. We got married young. We have 2 children who are United Methodist Young Adult Elders. One of them is a delegate to this General Conference. They would all agree, and everyone else who knows me, that if I have to list 2 of my accomplishments, I would have to say that it's been more of a we than a me. We believe in connectionalism, that we can do more together than we can do apart. And that is so true. I come from a long line of storytellers, so I need to tell you a story that illustrates what I'm talking about. There was a man who was driving a heavy laden wagon up a steep hill. He had only 1 horse pulling the wagon. The horse's name was Jack. But the man kept saying, "Get up there, Jack. Get up there, Joe. Get up there, Sally. Get up there, Sandy." And a fellow nearby said, "Well, sir, you only have 1 horse, so why are you calling all those other names?" And he replied to the man, "If Jack thought he was pulling this whole load by himself, he would never get it done." Partnership in ministry, connectionalism, laity and clergy working together. This is who we are. This is my story. This is our story as a connectional people. Together we can do more. Together we can do more. That was our motto in the Columbia District. I was the Columbia District Superintendent of the South Carolina Annual Conference for 8 years. I loved being a superintendent. It was not only my responsibility to superintend the churches, the laity, and the clergy, and forge relationships with those persons in the district, but it was also my responsibility for that entire 8 years to be the cabinet secretary. And it was my job to come up with the processes and procedures that we used in all of our appointment making. I know how difficult it is to do new church starts, cross-racial, cross-cultural appointments, how to make things work and make churches and clergy fit and improve. Working well together with others has been a hallmark, a gift indeed that God has given in my entire ministry. I've tried to be a bridge builder across different lines in our denomination. Some people say that people are either balcony people who lift others up and affirm them, or they're basement people who pull others down and judge. I've tried to be known as a person who's a balcony person, who is an encourager. I've had encouragers in my life, and I can't talk about that without talking about my mom and my dad. My dad was a mixed blood Chickasaw, 8th grade education. He came up, as we say, hard. He and Mama ran off together and got married. My grandparents, her mom and dad, misspelled his name on the wedding announcement, and that wasn't an accident, I don't think. I know what it's like to have those words that aren't encouraging from basement people, but he was a balcony person to me. Such a balcony person that I can hear his voice right now saying, "Make haste, son, make haste, boy." But the most significant thing that he did every night, as my bedroom was above theirs, he would knock on the wall, and I was expected to knock back 3 times. "I love you. I love you." My mother was a balcony person as well for me. She encouraged me so much. She encouraged so many. She believed in serving the least, the last, the lowest, the lost. There was an African-American gentleman that hung around my grandfather's country store who was homeless except for living in a nearby barn, who lived off tips for taking people's groceries to their cars. His name was Frank Arthur. And my mother did something out of the norm. And she welcomed Frank into our home. He was legally adopted by my family. We took care of Frank. And that's a part of who I am, to be an encourager, to be a balcony person. I am so glad for my parents. Relationships, I believe, are what make the gospel work. It's what makes the church work. And I could reel off a bunch of statistics about my fruitfulness in ministry, 20 years of the conference parliamentarian. For instance, if you get upset by the way conferences run, I've been doing that for 20 plus years. I could talk about being the recipient of the Canada Distinguished Alumni Award or the Denman Evangelism Award. But the main thing that I would tell you is that my passion is to be a balcony person, to lift others up, to encourage others, to build relationships. My passion is to connect people to Jesus and to each other in effective, fruitful, accountable ways. I hope that you'll give me an opportunity for me to be on your list of balcony people. Thank you for the opportunity.